You talked about, unfortunately, missing out on those championship years, but I think even more fascinating for us is understanding what Michael was like coming in as a rookie in those early years with the Bulls. What did you see that you felt like was part of what made Michael Jordan who he is?
There's a kaboom!
I'm like, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a hell of a ride. You just knew it from day one.
Just any other rookie coming out of college. He was very respectful of elders, coaches, anybody in authority position. He was just a rookie coming in ready to learn and earn his position in the league. He didn't come in with an attitude or feel that he was better than anybody else. My first 5 years with Michael there, we hadn't won a championship yet. So in some ways, it was a different environment, but I think as a person deep down, he was the same person.
Did he talk trash to you, Mike? Was he a respectful guy to the big man?
Yeah, he never said anything bad towards me. I always, got along with him well. And, he was just very, very, very intense. The thing that you remember about Michael was that every second, whether it was practice or a game, he was all out.
They traded him for George Gervin, who was the highest paid Bull on that team.
I started with Dr. J and I finished with Michael.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Both them brothers played so hard, man. I mean, in practice and in the game.
The most competitive person, and he gave everything every second.
Once he crossed that line, he was a maniac. He loved to practice. He came at you in practice. We took him out. I mean, we physically beat the hell out of him, and he took it. But he did some things in practice that were amazing. He really worked hard in practice. So the games for him were pretty much easier than practices were.
Mm-hmm. But we ate a lot of McDonald's back then. MJ ate McDonald's every morning for breakfast.
Word.
Every morning he ate McDonald's.
Sound like Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
If it works.
Right. And before game, he eat a steak before every game.
A steak? A whole steak?
Before every game.
Damn, that's heavy. Boss.
Probably got more cool because we was somewhere and MJ and a guy got into it. I mean, it was real messy. So it was about a bill. So once you pick the check up, MJ, nigga, you get a check too. Fuck that, you pick it up. So they went at it and that. So it was like a lot of tension. So they almost got in a fight. And I'm like, man, y'all need to cut it out, this and that, man. He get a check. You been in the league before me. So it was a lot of that. And, they got all of them guys out of there and took 2 or 3 years. But then he got to start running the team his way. And you see what happened.
In the early years, Michael had a very difficult time, but just an extraordinary talent. He was scoring an awful lot of points. Well, it was pretty obvious that Michael was turning into just a special individual.
Yeah. He demands perfection. Probably the toughest thing about working with Michael is he's a workaholic. He never stops. So from the morning until late at night, he's motivated to always be challenged and be the best, and he carries that throughout his whole staff.
I mean, I saw the best defenders in the league get shredded. Shredded. This kid here was the greatest, and I'm including Kareem in his heyday. I call Wilt in his tail end. I said he's the greatest, right? I said, can't you tell from these highlights? I said, can't you just see he was shredding people like it was nobody's business, right?
One time, I can recall me and BJ sitting on the bench, and we're sitting on the end of our chairs, and Michael gets a move, baseline. The defender is here. That's out of bounds. MJ is facing him here. And somehow he was able to go around, plant here, get here, and go up and dunk the basketball. So for me, some of the stuff that he would do would be almost superhuman from a standpoint that how can you make a pivot when he would turn so sharp, you would see his shoe almost come off. Literally, where he would turn the corner on the baseline and you would see this happen, and the next movement was a powerful thrust and up to dunk on somebody. That's incredible to me.
I just don't understand how he did that night after night. And then how intense he was at practice the next day.
Was it just Bushler and like Steve Kerr? Was he just beating up the little white boys? Let's be honest.
No, he beat up a big white boy, Will Perdue.
Got Will Perdue here on the Rich Eisen show. You fought him, right? You had a fight with Jordan in a practice, correct?
Yes. I hate to tell the story, but Will and I still good friends.
Listen, Will, you got beat up by Michael Jordan. It's cool.
What happened? What happened?
Typical Phil, running this play.
So we kept running this one play where I was setting screens on him. Got pretty good shots, as they said in the day. I was laying some wood.
And Will set a legal pick on MJ. MJ said, Will, don't do it again.
One time I hit him pretty hard. He bounced up off the floor, and he said, listen, you do that again, I'm going to punch you. He used a little more colorful language. So as soon as that happened, Johnny Bach, who was the assistant coach that set up our defensive schemes, immediately yelled, run it again.
MJ said, all right. Phil said, run it again. So naturally ran it 2 more times. Legal pick.
So I thought to myself, hey, man, if I'm going to get punched by this guy, which I still didn't think he was going to do it, I'm going to make sure I get my money's worth. So I made sure it was an illegal screen. I don't think I ever stopped. I just ran right through him, knocked his ass to the ground. He got up and immediately just turned around and hauled off and swung at me. And
boom, let him up.
It was over.
But again, it wasn't like it turned into a debacle. Once I realized what happened, I kind of started to step towards him. Eddie Neely, who was on the team at the time, grabbed me from behind and just kind of said, oh, big boy, that's probably not a good idea. And then the other thing was we just, settled down, continued to practice. It wasn't like they separated practice and, oh, that's it, we're done. You guys got to go in a room and hash it out. We just kept practicing. That stuff happened a lot more than people think. But it was refreshing when we played games on those Bulls teams because of how competitive and how hard we went at it at practice.
Will Perdue here on the Rich Eisen show. Did you have to have that environment, you think, in order to win as much as you did? I mean, was it necessary?
That type of atmosphere wouldn't work now. And maybe it wouldn't because people are different. Personalities are different. Egos are different. But the one thing I can always say is people are like, oh, he was a tyrant. I never looked at it that way. I thought he was a guy that was trying to motivate his teammates. You had to adapt to his style.
MJ had this philosophy. I'm the best. And no one is going to tell me that I'm not the best. And that's having that competitive spirit.
Michael Jordan was a scorer first, second, and third. He was a phenomenal finisher of the game. And what I mean by that is Michael Jordan stopped playing the game. He stopped having to facilitate. He didn't have to do all those things. He just finished the game. He finished it. He was, I think, the game's greatest finisher because he had no weakness in his game.
So my moment was watching him play 35, 40 minutes and then come to practice with the same energy.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. Now, this isn't normal. Now,
and maybe not much sleep.
No, Rex is being kind with no sleep. Okay. His true gift, Rex, as Rex knows, his true gift, which we don't want to say what Rex can put it in kind. He can explain it. I'm just going to say it and let Rex explain it.
His true gift
if
was,
the man
was hanging out.
If he would have slept, we don't know how good he really would have been. We didn't see the best of Michael Jordan because he didn't sleep for 14 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay. I'm not like, this isn't like a little sleep. He literally didn't sleep. I've never seen a guy practice this hard. And that's what we should be showing the kids because we're just showing them the games when the lights are on. This guy would, I've never seen someone this competitive and it's always on.
I mean, who goes out and you're up 20 and you're still playing the game if the score was tied? But he did that.
You ready? When I was in college, I was a big Michael Jordan fan.
For Oklahoma at center, a 6'10" junior from Lawton, Oklahoma, number 33, Stacey King.
I had a poster of Michael Jordan on my wall. So when I would go to the game, I would actually rub the poster, one time, sometimes twice if I wanted to have a really, really good game. And I'd go out and score 30, 40. And so I always attributed touching MJ's poster brought me luck. So then, how ironic, I get drafted by the Bulls. So my first game, come in, I felt like I didn't need the poster anymore because, I got Michael Jordan next to me now. I remember going out, getting ready to go shoot. Michael was, had his shirt off. He's had his North Carolina shorts on. So he's in the middle of getting dressed. which is kind of awkward if you think about this story I'm going to tell you. I start to walk out and I go, hey, you know what? I used to touch his poster. I think I'm going to touch him. What luck with that? That'll be really awesome because I get to touch the real guy now, and that'll bring me luck. So I walk over to MJ. He's, his shirt's off. He's got his back turned to me. He's in his North Carolina shorts. He's getting dressed. And I walk over and I rub him twice. Now that I look back on it, it was kind of awkward. So he looks at me. He's like, what are you doing? He said, oh man, I used to touch your poster when I was in college, man. It used to bring me luck. He said, man, get away from me, dude. Don't be doing that. I'm like, and I didn't think it was weird at the time, but then I looked back and I said, oh yeah, that might have been a little bit crossing the line. But after that, I didn't have to touch him anymore. He said, don't ever touch me again. I'm on your team. So I'm like, okay, cool. But your mind tells you, it's a mind thing. You got to believe in something.
All right, we were in practice, going at, we scrimmaging, and it was a timeout. And Michael walked over to me. He said, the ball will go to Stacey King. I'm gonna steal it and go down and dunk. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. So we go back on the court. Ball went down a couple of times. Then I looked at Michael, did like this. Give him in the face. The next play, the ball went to Stacey King. He spun middle and then came back baseline. Michael stole it, went down and dunked it, and did like this to me. So it was like, he's one of those guys who's played the game in his mind several times over and over. It's like he's been there before. And, I always say, playing with Michael, it's like he's in a time warp that he's just come back, time travel, come back and play the game to go back forward, to play some more, to come back, to play some more, show you guys, this is what I know. He knew every play that was going to happen before it was played.
I read something where Michael Jordan kept telling you he's going to get you a ring.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. One of our drills in warm-ups of practice was 3-person shooting drills. Everybody does 3-person shooting drills. Right. I'm thrown in with Michael and Scotty. Right. And these two are going at each other every day. And here I am. So I become a target every now and then, but I can shoot, Stephen. So I could hold my own when the final tally went down at the end of practice, who made the most, if you will. But I could hold my own. And Michael had a good sense of his teammates. So that's where I was sitting and not playing. But Michael, he put his arm around you and say, hang in there, man, hang in there. I'm going to get you a ring, because I was the only one on that team. I was the only one in that building that was not a part of a championship team.
It's a tough situation, the world champions, and to be traded. And luckily I got some time early with some injuries, and just try to do the best I can.
How do you cope with playing behind Michael Jordan?
I love it. It's the greatest job in the world. You come in for him and relieve him a little bit. And he comes in a little 3-person rotation with Scottie Pippen, and it's worked out well so far.
John Paxson gave me the best bit of advice. He said, here's one bit of advice I'll give you. When you're in the game with Michael, and he drives the lane and he hits you with that pass and gives you that look, he said, don't miss. I'm like, why is that? He said, you'll never get it back. So lo and behold, Stephen, the end of the first quarter, I'm in there and right corner and gives you that look. And thank goodness it went in, swish, and everybody on the bench was happy. Michael was like, yeah, man, way to go. So you're kind of in at that point.
Bobby stepping in and playing well. We were hoping that he can come in and do exactly what he's doing. Some hard, tough defense and knock down jump shots whenever he need to. And he's picking up the offense pretty quickly. So, he's really been a great addition for us.
But that was the best advice I ever got on the triangle offense, was when MJ gives you the ball, don't miss.
Was he a great player on the floor? Yes. Was he this great leader off the court? No. He's not that real image that is being depicted right now.
Now, he was not a nice guy. I mean, he was vicious. He was that guy that was so motivated every day in everything that we did. If you didn't come to work, you were going to have problems with Michael Jordan in a way that he would let you know he's got a problem with you, whether he was going to attack you verbally or he was going to get after you on the court physically. There was no in between.
They talk about what a fierce competitor Michael was. And
And they asked, was he really that hard on players? And yeah, he was, because he wanted to win and he was pushing us. But I don't think people that don't play sports, they don't understand that that's kind of the way most locker rooms were guys pushing. Now, Michael took it to a different level and brought it up, but the kibitzing and the pushing of each other and trying to make each other better and poking fun at each other was going on in every locker room I've been in, going back to high school. But Michael brought it to a different level because he wanted to win, and he was making us all feel the pressure in practice so that in the games it would be easy for us and we would be prepared to go out there. And he was also testing us to find out if we were good enough to be there.
There was times where Mike would get pissed off at Luke.
He'll say, oh, Luke wasn't this and Luke wasn't that, so I made him this and I made him that.
I pushed him, challenged him in certain situations where I felt like, look, you're not doing what we expect you to do. It was a mindset that I felt like Luke had to learn, and I think he did learn.
And I'll say, well, that may or may not be true. You don't have to love a bloke to be on his team, to care about him, to play basketball together. I didn't love MJ. I thought MJ was difficult and unnecessarily harsh on his teammates and probably on himself. And I think, I just didn't enjoy being around him that much. And that was cool. It was cool with MJ and it was cool with me. At the end of the day, we found a way to respect each other on the court and to coexist, and that was cool.
He wasn't the easiest teammate to play with. In fact, he was probably the hardest teammate I've ever played with. But it was really productive because he was able to raise the level of our competitiveness, but also our confidence. Because every practice day almost felt harder than games, because you had to deal with him. Michael was so dominant, not only on the court, but in the locker room, and so everybody felt more a sense of we're going to win because we have Michael. So there was a comfort level with his confidence and his dominance, his sort of king of the hill mentality. So you went into every game like, yeah, he's on our side, but you went into every practice like, I better not get on his bad side, and so it was an interesting combination. He raised the level of every practice so dramatically. Everything mattered to him. Every shooting drill, like he was so competitive. And we used to scrimmage a lot more back then than we do today. Most practice days we would scrimmage at some point, and those scrimmages were battles.
And when I got to the Bulls, that first day of practice, I was like, where do they do this at? A lot of people say, oh, MJ, he's tough on his teammate, he's this. Dude never, ever raised a voice at me, ever. The only thing he did was, Randy, you're not doing your job today. Hit that. This dude brought it, man. He, like I said, the kids, people saw what they saw on TNT. They didn't see the 2 hours that he put in practice, dude. This dude practiced, man, which was surprising to me. I don't care what it was. It can be 0-0. The dude he just brought it. Who averages 35 points in the season? Right. This dude, man, and a lot of kids they only saw the finished product. Right. With the tongue out. They never saw what this dude did in practice. Right. This dude practiced. And he went hard. He lived. He practiced. And if you didn't practice, you're going to hear from him.
And I want you to tell me this story that you told me about Michael Jordan. When you and Michael Jordan kind of came to, kind of little differences about your opinion about how the game was played when you played with Chicago with Michael Jordan.
Yeah. How did, if you want to call it a confrontation, came about. Phil was alternating players, second team on the first team on the second team. And so we were scrimmaging. We played like 6 games of going to 5 points. And so after the first 2 games, Phil put me with the second unit where I always play with, my boys. we proceeded to kick their butts like 4 straight games. And Michael took offense to it. So I asked him, how did he like that ass whooping we just put on him? And he took offense to it because clearly no one ever manned up to him, challenged him. So he said that he was going to say that if I wasn't careful, he was going to kick my ass. And I told him, like, I'm not in awe of you. I played with some of the baddest fellas that walking the court. He looking at me like I had slapped his mother.
I love that story. Then you went even further, and I think you talked about one of the rookies came over to you and said, man, I can't believe you talked to Michael like that.
And with all due respect to he and Scotty and Dennis Rodman, you don't know I'm hanging from the rafter. The guys I just named hanging from the rafter, not to mention I played with some Hall of Famers, and I'm supposed to be in awe of him. I rest my case.
I absolutely love that story because people for a while have been talking about, well, Michael Jordan was a bully.
Michael was in your face. He challenged his teammates. And as you know, Larry was our leader, but Larry led by example. Michael, he all up in your face talking trash. He might get a short right, Max.
What did you do when you wanted to get under Michael's skin?
Speak Croatian because he didn't understand it. that was the only way. Well, but we all understood that he is so competitive that he's going to bring anything and everything, and I think we accepted that thing.
And do you think that Michael Jordan would be as successful without you?
No. But I don't think I would be successful without him. I think we both complemented each other in a lot of different ways. And we kind of competed and pushed each other to be great. Michael was the greatest one-on-one player in the game. Mm-hmm. And if he played in today's era where the game is more open, with more spacing,
50.
yeah,
Easy.
I mean,
50. Easy.
His numbers would just go off the roof. And, I played with the guy pretty much his whole career. So I know that the guy goes in the game thinking 50. He was a great scorer, but a lot of things that he did was based on him as an individual. And I think basketball is a team game. He just had that mentality of just like
had that drive.
Michael is the greatest player ever. Michael's been injured one time. He never asked to sit out. He never asked for anything, but only he asked for respect and money. If Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He'll average 50 points.
Being 40 years old, playing back-to-backs, he played 82 games.
Yeah, 82.
But the crazy part about it, he would never sit out of practice. Michael Jordan at 40 practiced every single day. Doug Collins had to, try to kick him off the floor. He wouldn't leave. Like, Doug Collins was like, Mike, man, no. Like, he wanted to play and practice every single day. He's 40 years old, and still every day, first one there, always called the Breakfast Club. He always getting his lift in. Yeah, but he wanted to practice every day and play 82 games at 40. Like, when we came in the league, that was a badge of honor to play 82 games.
That's what, we talked about that.
That's a badge of honor. And this man do it at 40 years old on one leg. Like, come on, man. Talking about dedication to the game. Like, it don't get no better than that.
Michael has never brought me to tears. Did he upset me a lot? Yeah. I mean, he's a competitor. That's what I think it's much to do about nothing. So many people want to make up stories about Michael Jordan that he could have been the greatest guy in the world to me. They still would have made up something.
Like, seeing Michael Jordan, someone we all idolize. Everybody did. I don't care what you say. Yeah. Everybody idolized Michael Jordan.
For me, Michael Jordan was a killer. It didn't matter. He wanted to come in and kill you. In my mind, as far as just a straight killer mentality is Michael Jordan.
I know that last shot that Jordan had in the playoffs when it won the game and you guys lost to them in the finals. It was kind of controversial. A lot of people thought that he pushed off you, and now here you are, his teammate, trying to help him get one more title. Kind of ironic.
Nah, kind of pretty good. Why have somebody that worked their hardest against you? Why not have him with you?
Right. Was he integral in bringing you to the Wizards?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was. It was his decision.
Kind of controversial. A lot of people thought you pushed off of him.
That was a controversial call from your perspective, but the referees called the right call. So I mean, yeah, it's good to have those guys. I mean, I believe in his skills, and that's what I went for. I didn't go for the sentimental, value of him.
Make up for it?
No, I went for his skills, and that's how I viewed it.